Hi guys, Martin Curry from Belief Media. I'm here with my business partner, Domenico Bordil. How are you, Dom?
Fantastic.
Excellent. The purpose of this video is you have downloaded our mortgage broker marketing manual. I should know the name of it. We called it the Definitive Guide to Financial Marketing, Digital Financial Marketing, or Simple Lead Generation Explained. I'm going to learn the name of the book we wrote, but it is extensive.
3 variations. So
oh yeah, it changed all the time. It is very extensive. It's about 650 odd pages. A lot of material is covered with or without us, guys. So you don't need us necessarily to see success by introducing a lot of those concepts that we write about into your business. But our digital marketing social media software does make it absolutely simple. It automates a whole heap of stuff and introduces a degree of professionalism into your business that would otherwise cost tens and tens of thousands of dollars. In terms of comparing ourselves to sort of what's out there in the market, you know, we're probably 100 times more powerful and valuable than any competing product. We say that because, as we've probably told you before in another video, if you've seen any of our other videos, is we do have a free product, 1-800-Funnels, and it itself is a free product and it's 3 times more powerful than anything that is made available. Well, not everything's made available to the mortgage market, but certainly those products that are part of what we call a rescue package. So it's 3 times more powerful than most products made available to the mortgage industry, and it's free. People are paying between $5,000 and $15,000 for mediocrity. We've managed between the two of us to build completely in-house, a product that completely automates your marketing in a way that has never been introduced to the mortgage industry before, and it provides digital solutions that are years and years and years and years ahead of what your competition are doing. You're receiving this in an email message probably 8 to 24 hours. We haven't scheduled it yet after you download the book. So you're going to receive this message. Part of what we talk about in the book is what's called a Sonata model. It's the early sequence of a email marketing campaign. We always talk about the fact that it becomes an educational journey. In our case, well, the Sonata model, by the way, is based on the Sonata sequence of the introduction, exposition, development, recapitulation, and coda or cadence. They're 5 steps that we take people through. It lasts between 7 and 10 days, and that 7 to 10 days is where we want to convert someone into a client if we can. While they're a red-hot buyer and before they go somewhere else. He who provides the best marketing experience, he who provides or she who provides the better educational campaign will be the victor, so to speak.
It is an education campaign. We've spoken about it in some other videos. So when someone comes through, they're there to evaluate who you are. Is this someone I want to deal with? Is this someone that qualifies for me to talk to them? And the Sonata allows us to do that. Yeah.
Our email campaign that you are on, we have subscribed to you. Please stay subscribed, because we're going to demonstrate throughout the course of this campaign a number of marketing features. So it's a mixture of education, but we also want to showcase the kind of tactics you can use in order to convert people into clients. We've got an email going out tomorrow, I think, or the day after. And I say that because we haven't scheduled this particular video yet. But it provides a telephone number where you can call up and let it ring and hang up, or call up and leave a voicemail and then hang up. On the basis of that interaction, it'll send you a text message, it'll send you an email. Despite the fact you're calling in via telephone, it'll send you an email if we're able to resolve your mobile telephone number to an email address. It provides automation on our end as well, adds you to Planner, our CRM, Sales Tracker if we have to. It does a whole bunch of things, and there are about 50 odd triggers in our system, so which is fundamental to a digital marketing experience. And throughout the course of this, the early part of this email campaign we send you, we want to demonstrate how amazingly powerful, how amazing your email campaigns can be. The reason we record this video on a couch just dressed like bums is because we record these every day. And all we do is sit down with a couple of microphones and talk with the camera. You can do this with a mobile phone because your email marketing campaigns are more effective with video. And our system obviously provides. There's about 50 or 60 pages actually on video. We talk about the benefits. Certainly, the video on your website 54 times more likely to be on the front page of Google, 8 times longer. Sticking people to web pages and all that sort of stuff. Those that tell you that content generation isn't necessary and all you need to do is throw money into Facebook and watch the deals come through, they're absolutely full of shit. And the reason that, pardon my language, the reason that our campaigns are consistently 3, 5, 10, 20, and in one case 37 times more powerful than those products out in the market is because we introduce a lot of little things that add up to a big thing. Digital marketing and the persuasive nature of digital marketing, the exposure effect, the omnipresence, there's a whole lot of psychological principles that I won't go into, but they are discussed in the book somewhere. I don't remember where. And it's really easy to do. It's really easy for Domenico and I to sit down here and discuss a few marketing concepts and produce a podcast out of it. Our first podcast, Hello World, goes for 2 hours and 45, 2 hours and 50 minutes or something. We sat down and did that with zero preparation because it's a topic we understand. It's a topic, we've been doing digital marketing for 23 years. We've been in tech for longer than that. You spent 20 years as a director with Oracle. Technology is tattooed into your brain. And mortgage brokers, financial advisors, accountants, real estate agents, as individuals and certainly as a group, when you get 2 or 3 people down on a couch like this, you get some really interesting, amazing discussions happen. And if you have a clear outcome, so a clear message that you want to deliver to your clients, that becomes a real compelling way of drawing people into your marketing experience, drawing people and committing them to your marketing funnel, and have them actually open your emails because we want you to open these emails. We want to show you how amazing marketing can be and why what you've been told is wrong. One of our ads a long time ago used to start off with, what if everything you were told about digital marketing was wrong? And that was it. Yeah, and that did so well because people have fed all this BS with lead generation. I'm not sure if we talked about this in this video or another video, but lead generation really is a dirty word. And there are people out there selling these, Facebook marketers selling these horrible experiences that is not digital marketing. And then they refer people off to third-party landing page sites, Kartra, Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, and so on. When that is, as far as I'm concerned, when a paid digital marketer, when paid digital representation sends off one of those third-party websites, that, as far as I'm concerned, is criminal. Those guys are clueless monkeys. All right? I really have issue with that because they discount and they diminish the most powerful marketing asset you have because your website is the center of your marketing universe. Ignore all those people that say your website isn't important. 97% of people still go to a search engine to find a mortgage broker in the first instance. What sort of website presence do you have? Now, I talk about this all the time. You've probably seen this if you subscribe to one of our videos. If you downloaded this booklet from our website, you would have heard this in one of the videos you saw on the second page to demonstrate the conditional redirect feature. But every single page on your website is an organic entry point. People can come from anywhere, search engines, social, word of mouth, anywhere. There's a dozen different primary methods that draw people into your marketing experience. And usually via your website. So every single page on your website represents a potential organic entry point. Every single page on your website is a type of landing page. Every single page on your website should provide some sort of conversion opportunity. Every single page on your website needs to provide some sort of conversion opportunity. And if you don't have a good web presence, you're discounting. People say, my website doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for you because there's no mechanism upon which people to convert. In fact, in some cases, we can't even find phone numbers. So those landing pages for Facebook, you need to have into your website, because read the book. If we've got the most powerful Facebook program in the country, absolutely and without question, the most powerful Facebook program in the country, and a lot of that has to do with, a small part of that has to do with the fact when people subscribe to a landing page on our website, it's a declared interest type. They're telling us what they're interested in. You know, if they download, if someone downloads this book from the front page of our website, do we want to show them this book again? No, we know they've downloaded it. We show them another form. If somebody's downloaded something from a landing page, they might be interested in something else, which means we can change content on our website somewhere else. And we continually draw people back to our website from our email marketing program, this email marketing program that drew people here. And
that's what's important there. As you can see, last 5 minutes has been talking about your website.
Yeah.
All the advantages of people landing and coming to your own personal website. And if you look at some of the third-party products, you actually, and some of the other lead landing pages, you're actually being taken to a generic website or a page that's not even on your website. And you lose all that collection information, you lose all that data that goes with it.
The notion that you would send page traffic off Facebook or Google or anywhere else, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those sort of paid promotional programs, and we see it more often than not from those Facebook idiots, right, that say, oh, you know, go to Kartra, and that's a good site, or lead pages. The notion that you would send paid traffic to somebody else's website is utterly absurd, utterly effing stupid, right? It is the dumbest thing you can do in marketing, because the interaction and the actions that take place as a result of a download, the result of a page view, the result of a page click, adds to a user profile. We learn more about them. We're able to tailor the marketing experience. And this email that people are watching this video by virtue, most probably because of something in a email marketing program that we expect to send after 24 hours or thereabouts. We're going to demonstrate email open triggers. We're going to demonstrate link triggers. We're going to demonstrate what information we have on you. We're going to send you to a page on our website that shows you where you are. So your latitude and longitude will show you who you are, your email address, your telephone number, and you haven't, even if you've never been to our website before, we're going to show you that information when you get there, and we're going to show you how we do it. It is trickery and magic. So then once you browse, once we know that information, and we do know that information once you're on our website, we're going to show you what happens when you click on a link. We can send you emails based on clicking on a link within a website. We can escalate you. We can add you to a task somewhere for some reason. We can send you a text message. Right, we can do all these things on the basis of all these actions and interactions. We can provide course corrections to the email experience based on how people engage. We're going to provide a telephone number. I might have mentioned this earlier, where people call up and leave a message or don't leave a message, and they'll get a text message back. So it demonstrates call triggers, which again are an amazing feature, not just because it provides that customer engagement, but because it provides us as business owners really detailed analytics on how our marketing is performing. We're able to match that up against users, and we're able to generate a really good score. So data, you know, the second or third chapter in the book is data-driven behavioural insights. It talks about why and how data is super important. Like, it is just the epicenter of your marketing universe. You know, analytics mean nothing, right? Unless, first of all, it's visually represented. But beyond that, it's useless unless A, having that data allows us to do something, and B, we're able to get measurable KPIs on the basis of our marketing performance metrics, which ours does. Ours ticks both those boxes in a big way. In fact, on the basis of people browsing your website, if we identified a lot of people browsing first home buyer pages on your website, or a lot of people subscribing to first home buyer emailing lists. We can change the banner on your YouTube page or on your Facebook page. That's the top profile picture to represent first-home buyers, because that's what your market is interested in now. In fact, you can schedule some for Christmas and Easter and Anzac Day, all those sorts of things in advance, and then we change those in the meantime based on the type of interest we identify on your website. So you're always presenting as a professional in a particular field. The book goes into more detail because we can't possibly...
And industry trends. We can also, because we've got so much data available, we can also identify industry trends that might be taking place. Like, for example, the end of last year with COVID and the government grants on home loans, first home buyers, there was a big income of first home buyers, and we can identify things like that and change the websites to present that.
Yeah, great system. We actually don't use that system ourselves for a bunch of reasons, but all our brokers do. All those brokers that are beta testing the system now are enjoying it, and their profile pictures change if there's a need. We can manually change that as well, because sometimes it takes the system a little while to identify a particular trend. So we can mass change that for all those people who have opted into a program where, yes, change my profile banner. When you identify changes at a business level, we can just click a button and change all of them over to something that represents their brand. That's with a logo and all that sort of stuff. We stick your logo on it, because all your logos are in our system. You upload those and all your phone numbers and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not sure if I mentioned this before. The big draw card, despite the fact we've got libraries of millions of images and financial tidbits, and we've got financial, finance general, finance humour, and finance history as 3 finance categories for social media posts. There is millions of options in the social media library, literally millions. In fact, billions if you include our Flickr and Imager libraries. Although we'll probably remove Imager. There's too many not safe for work posts there. We don't want people exposed to, dirty content. Flickr is more respectable. It's more dignified. A more dignified browsing platform, but there's thousands actually of really good libraries and museums and financial institutions and whatnot that provide really good libraries and albums and things there of content that people can use and share. Licensed under Creative Commons by attribution license. So it's really good stuff. So the system itself, there's a social media component, there's digital marketing components, it integrates YouTube and Wistia and all sorts of, LinkedIn and Google My Business is a big one, because if 90-odd%, up to 97% in some cases, people looking for a broker in the first instance by way of a search engine, Google My Business is big, because that's how your business is represented in search engines. So if someone searches for ABC Mortgages, they'll show that ABC Mortgages panel on the right-hand side with locations, reviews, etc. We manage reviews. We aggregate reviews from Google My Business and Facebook. There's hundreds of modules. There's hundreds of options in the system. It really does take care of all your marketing in a way that no other system obviously can. We've built this on the back of 23 years in digital marketing, 23 years working with finance brokers. We worked with a few back in 97, a lot towards 99, 2000, 2001, and then started up our own in 2005. That became a $500 million a year old business. Best independent brokerage in Australia. I think that was voted that the year I left. It's a working belief media full time, and so we're well positioned to provide people with a really amazing experience with really top-notch support over the telephone.
Yeah, and support's something that we consider very critical. You've got a product there, you've invested time and money into it. Obviously, you want to be able to ring up and ask questions, and even though we work the standard hours, we do find ourselves here late at night during the weekends, so it's not unusual to And we encourage people just ring, leave a message. If one of us is up and awake, we'll get back to you.
We do have a dedicated support number, which is open longer than the standard business line number. In fact, it's pretty much a 24-hour number because there's always somebody that's able to take a call, and that's supplemented, of course, by regular webinars and online conferences and our BLearn, which is our education module. We provide you, we arm you with the necessary information and technology to go out and generate as much business as you want to generate. We're going to show you how some of our guys, I think we did, was it 47 people last year that did over 140 mil? I don't remember the stats now, but it was nearly 50 that did nearly 50 that got nearly to 150 mil. That's as businesses, not as individuals. Individual volume is kind of a silly thing. Business volume is much more important because you need multiple people in order to grow and scale. You're never going to achieve greatness by doing everything yourself. Because when you fall over and have a heart attack, your business ceases to exist. So, we do provide different tiers, I guess, of services as well. We go into it in the book, but we do provide people with enormous amounts of support, all the support necessary to like I said, build their business to whatever level they want to. None of this 10x nonsense and all this sort of stuff. If you're an entry level broker today and you want to be a $150 million broker in 12 months, you can achieve that, and from a standing start. You don't need Facebook to do it. That's the biggest myth and despite the fact, like I said, we have the highest performing Facebook program in the country. That's just black and white, clear as crystal. Introduced Facebook advertising, Google AdWords into Australia. I have to say that because I always tend to talk down Facebook advertising, but it really isn't the be all and end all. If it was, then the top performing brokers in Australia would be, relying on Facebook. They are not.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it in this one or before. You mentioned it at some point that the great thing about Facebook is filling in the lulls during the normal business. So if you've got quiet periods, Facebook's fantastic for keeping the business and the leads up during that time.
Part of what we go through in early business assessment is we set all the KPIs, all the realistic volume objectives for each quarter. So you know what you're going to be doing in 7 quarters' time. You know how much volume you're going to be doing, and that's kind of based on. Yeah, I'll talk about systems in a second. So you set a realistic growth trajectory, and then Facebook is used to fill in the gaps. It's kind of the Shelley's no more gaps of the digital marketing world. If you're relying on Facebook as your primary means of traffic, your business is not sustainable. It is just not. Your Facebook ad account could be shut down overnight. Certainly, and God knows in this litigious, compliant, post-Royal Commission world, you never, ever, ever, ever buy leads. And there are a dozen reasons for that. A dozen really good reasons, 100 mediocre reasons, but a dozen really good reasons. But it is the criminal enterprise of the marketing industry at the moment. Lead generation. It's a dirty word, man. So, Facebook advertising is still fantastic. We advocate everybody does it, and it's important because you can use it to build your volume. And you're always going to make less of Facebook advertising. Your commissions are obviously going to be compromised because there's a certain portion of, you've got a customer acquisition cost. There's we always apply the lifetime value in our programs because we do have Edge, which is our post-settlement system, and it leads to a referral system. So 1 to 3 is our standard, which means 1 to 9 to 12 over 12 months. And that's how we build up $150 million businesses in 12 months. It's not because of Facebook. Facebook represents one person. From one person, you've got a network of people that you potentially have access to. You might retarget them with Facebook. You might do brand awareness with these people, friends of friends and so on. Different ways of reaching these people, but none of the BS ads. In fact, we do a podcast somewhere where we talk about the ads. Do you remember what podcast that was?
No, it's either a Hello World or a Closer Look, one of the two. Yeah.
Might have been Rescue Package, because that was meant to be like a 20-minute podcast and went for an hour and 40. Do you remember that? Yeah, so
Almost
it might
2
be
hours,
called
yeah.
Rescue Package. It's one of the few podcasts we've done which is very date specific, because it talks about programs that we've identified to be lower performing than our free product, and we give people certain discounts on the basis of having previously undertaken those programs. I'm looking at the board there. I can't even see what I'm looking at, and I've got a big light in my eye anyhow, so I can't see anything. So yeah, to get back to what this video is actually about, it is people have just subscribed to us. Please don't unsubscribe, because we will deliver value to you. We do deliver free products to you. We deliver, in the end of this sequence, you will get access to 1-800 Funnels, the free product. And the point there is we want you to upgrade into a paid product. You'll see how well our free product does, again, which is more powerful and effective than any paid product made available to the mortgage industry. I say that any product, but you've got those really bad, low performing programs out there in the market. It's better than all those Facebook guys. If they're using Kartra, Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, all those sorts of rubbish sites, it's going to be 3 to 5 times more powerful than those guys, right? And those guys survive because any marketing is better than no marketing, so even bad marketing returns results. People think that works. That's not true. That's not how it works. Good marketing returns amazing results. Good marketing will change your world. Good marketing will change the world you live in. So we will demonstrate the components of our email sequence within this email sequence. So it's a funny email sequence where we're mixing education, and we will have a bunch of videos like this. We do like multimedia content, particularly video content within the marketing funnel, because it does introduce you to us and hopefully showcases a little bit of our expertise. And more than anything, it gives us a chance to talk about our digital marketing social media system, our software, our amazing software, in a way that I really can't do in an email or on a website and so on. Video is the only way to communicate that. Within a short amount of time, we will have a bunch of demonstration videos on the website as well. We have to record those. Just really short screencasts of each panel, just showing how easy it is to create voice drops, recording into the browser, sending out text messages, creating landing pages on a website with a click of a button. And that's important. You're creating landing pages on a website with a click of a button. Everything is integrated, so you just fill in the blanks to create forms. 35 odd points of automation applies, so you can do whatever you want to do. When a lead comes in, you can notify people, you can send messages to your planner in your CRM. You can do all sorts of interesting things. The changes you or the options you choose with that automation should be consistent with your internal SOPs and standard practices and procedures. So, and that's a big thing. We're very SOP driven ourselves. We both come from very stringent SOP driven backgrounds, at least a framework where we have stringent and very rigid SOPs, but we also come from a background where you're encouraged. In fact, you're likely to encounter situations where you have to vacate from those SOPs almost on a daily basis, because variables, the wildcards, have to be treated by way of decision-making models and SWOT analysis and risk assessments and all sorts of different things.
Even then, there's still SOPs around how to deviate and what needs to be covered too, even in those circumstances. But look, it is a very hands-on sequence. You go through, it demonstrates the products, it demonstrates what's capable. So everything you're experiencing is what you yourselves can set up the system to do in your own marketing.
Only because this has been sent via email, it is worth noting that this has come from our either Martin at Belief Media, so my email account, or support at Belief Media. I don't know which one is actually assigned to this sequence, but it is in my sent items folder. I can see it has been sent, and it's one of the half dozen reasons why our system is the most compliant email marketing system in the industry. In fact, I mentioned triggers in one of the chapters, and it's either right down the end or after the chapter on the email marketing system. After the email marketing system makes more sense, but at the end kind of makes sense as well, because the trigger system is so extensive that I think I put a summary track, or Domenico put a summary chapter in at the end, just to tie it all together. And a good part of that has to do with email marketing, because our email marketing system, despite the fact we utilise Microsoft Office 365, making it the only compliant system in Australia, it integrates a number of other features. There's things called nested triggers and nested sequences and things like that, which is an in-house technology. It's a technology we had to develop to support new and interesting ways of marketing, and that's because those technologies drive more engagement and they drive more business to your business. So look, give the book a read. There's a lot of stuff there. About 30% of it is promotion, not promotion, but education on why our systems are good systems. But the majority of it is just good information. In the entire section on video marketing, for example, it's about 60 or 70 pages. It's got to be.
Yeah, and it goes through how to create the videos, the psychology behind the videos, and goes into in depth and gives examples. On why they work and why they don't work. Some examples on why some didn't.
When you read that chapter, be mindful that this is a case of do as we say, not as we do, because I talk extensively about introducing a 4DEC model to formal. It's okay to do a video like this. This is really chatty. It's almost like a podcast format. It's almost Joe Roganish in its style, because we sit down and we don't know what we're going to say until we start talking. But there are times where we sit down with notes. If you look at podcast 6, for example, on managed content, where we talk about social media, we talk about the RBA program. We give people the newsletter program that we give people the RBA newsletter, article submission program, social media. I think that's like the 4 primary modules associated with the managed content, but there is more, isn't there? You don't know, do you?
They're the 4 main ones. The rest,
yeah,
because then you go white labeling. The rest of them, not really managed content.
Managed content. That's the white label. White label marketing material. Yeah. The fact that we give people I didn't even mention that. We recorded so many videos today. We regularly feed white label marketing material into the system with the click of a button. It brands it with your logo and website and other details, and puts it in your download manager, which is a version controlled download manager, and makes it available throughout the system. You can attach various files to emails just via select box. You never have to upload anything beyond uploading it once. If it's a white label piece of marketing material, you don't even have to upload it because it's already there. You just brand it. So it's a really extensive system, and it's really good. It's going to help a lot of brokers. Like, it's going to do some amazing. We've already seen it do extraordinary things for our brokers. Just like out of control, good, amazing things. The results they're getting are positioning them to be the highest performing brokers in this country. So it's doing some really good things. It's going to help some people build their business, which is fantastic. So anyway, I was talking about podcast number 6, where we do sit down. It's very structured, and that's where the reason I mention this, I did have a purpose, is because podcast number. In the booklet I talk about video marketing, and I introduce the concept of 4DEC, which is facts, options, risks, decision, execute, and communicate. And there's also other little models there like NITS, nature, intention, specials, and nature, intention, time, and specials, and things like that. Different little acronyms you use to manage the flow of a conversation. So if you're conducting a podcast, and you introduce each topic that you introduce is managed via 4DEC, which is facts. And this is integral in the finance space, and I think there are a couple of examples for like first-time buyers and investors maybe, where we go through and just break it down. It's a non-exhaustive list of things to consider, but it was just one of those things you just, when you're writing the document, you write it out. So, facts, and then the options that apply for each of those facts, the method in which it will be completed, the risks associated, so it becomes then a risk assessment program. And then the decision, how it's going to be executed, and then how it's going to be communicated to all the appropriate stakeholders, and the appropriate communication within the discussion thread. So it's worth reading that, because that's a model that I apply. Now, if you're doing a short video on Instagram, 60-second video like our marketing minutes, it's we always use NITs. What's the nature of the discussion we're going to have? What's our intent? Is there any special consideration? Sorry, the time frame. Always mix that up. What's the time frame? That's availability. How long a product is available for, all that sort of stuff, and then special considerations. And by the way, that NITS was adopted. I used to work as an airline pilot with Virgin. That NITS is adopted via a brief that we used to give cabin crew. Used to call the flight manager up and used to give them a NITS brief. The nature of the condition, we've had an engine failure. Our intention is to land, near a suitable Hawaii. Specials. There's no special considerations. There's no risk. There's no fire. There's no this, etc., etc. Sorry, the time frame: 60 minutes until landing. 45 minutes until here. Yeah, give them very specific, times, and then special considerations. That it's used in aviation, but it's used in aviation because it's effective. Because you can't. You have to communicate something very effectively, clearly, quickly, and you don't want ambiguity, but that translates into the environment for a 60-second video really well. In fact, here's something for you. While we use SWOT and all that sort of stuff for decision making, this is going way off topic, but that's okay. If you've watched this far, good luck to you. But FORDEC is also adopted from. It's an aviation decision making model. If you have in-flight emergency, that we apply FORDEC. There are dozens and dozens of decision-making models that apply, not necessarily just for aviation. They translate, industry-wide. Certainly, if you're going for an ISO quality assurance accreditation, you have to have various decision-making models in place to support your threat and error management. And FORDEC is a good one because it covers all your bases. But FORDEC translates to good video. So when we do number 6, which I think we've recorded, number 6 or number 7, I don't remember which one. We see it with notes, and we've got very clear guidelines. This is completely the opposite. And it's okay, guys, to have videos like this. Your clients will enjoy them. When you're talking about finance and they know nothing about finance, they will enjoy listening to you. If you're appealing to a first home buyer market, your clients will not know what a conveyancer is. They will not know what that's for. They won't know why pest inspections are required. They won't understand what stamp duty is. Go into the history of stamp duty, the origins dating back to medieval Poland or something. Remember that was introduced as a tax, but it was, pennies, basically. And over time, it's just become this big, bloated, inflated tax, despite the fact that it's paid to the government for no good reason. But that has to be explained to clients. And if you have a discussion about that stuff and you wrap little stories around this information, people are more likely to remember, A, the information, and B, you or them.
Yeah, that little bit of historical information there, it really does make it very interesting. Even the manual that we've been talking about, the fact that there's a lot of history there from marketing, its origins, where landing pages came from, those parts actually make it interesting to read and understand what the origin was and the roots, foundation of it. But also where it's heading. We can also see how it's developed over time. And because the society we live now is very much on demand. People want things instantly. And to me, the triggers system helps with that. If I do something, I send something, I want to know, did it get received? Is something that happened with it? Yeah. The fact that a trigger happens and comes back gives you that instant feedback, which satisfies a lot of what our younger kids are growing into now.
Yeah, the trigger system is the trigger system in our system is the most comprehensive marketing trigger system available, not just in the industry but in the digital industry. Mortgage brokers aren't just getting access to, and this is what you're referring to, right?
Yes.
Yeah, mortgage brokers aren't just getting access to, a powerful trigger system. They're getting access to the most powerful trigger system made available to any business in this country, because we've developed it specifically for our clients. We've developed it specifically wrapped around their needs, and that's where our nested trigger system came from. Most people are familiar with the autoresponder sequence, which is a very linear A to Z journey. And those that are listening to this podcast, if you've downloaded our manual, this email was sent to you on the basis of downloading that manual, and I think it's number 2 or 3 email. But there could be a nested link within that email there would be that links to this video. But we could quite easily send you another email on the basis of clicking on that link or sending you a text message or anything else. Now, I'm not going to get into it now because it's discussed in the book, our nested trigger system, because we had to develop that. It was George Lucas. We're talking about this the other day. We might have talked about it in another podcast. We've done so much talking. This is our 5th video today, you see. So when George Lucas was making Star Wars, he had an imagination. Technology had to catch up with what he wanted. So it was creativity that drove technology, which is quite often the case. In fact, the first cuts of Star Wars were really quite poor. The technology hadn't evolved to a point where he was satisfied. He kept on pushing his team. Industrial Light and Magic, back when they were parked in a garage in the valley somewhere, Sacramento Valley or something, I don't remember. But and the same thing applied with James Cameron in Terminator 2. He wanted a specific type of Terminator. He wanted that moulding effect, and they had to develop the technology to satisfy James Cameron's curiosity. We had a particular vision as well, and we're lucky, Belief Media, because we develop our own technology. And because our concept, our ideology, our underlying marketing philosophies are vastly different to that of anybody else. We call it Marketing 2.0, but it should be called Marketing 5.0, because it's generations ahead of what other people are doing, right? But we had to go out and develop these different types of concepts, which are very easy concepts. I'm not trying to pretend that we've, developed a programming language or anything. It's just the way in which technology is applied to do something that hasn't been done before. Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, the imagination, your mind drives what we need, and the software then catches up.
Well, you know what drives our curiosity and drives us in terms of our development? It's constantly improving upon the results. Before we implemented the nested trigger system, we went back through and had a look through millions of emails that have been sent through our systems, millions of emails, and we looked at the engagement levels that were taking place, because in this linear email campaign, and it is a good campaign, this campaign we're sending you, this journey we're sending you on now, we hope you enjoy it. This video is long and it might have put you to sleep. It doesn't matter. That's kind of irrelevant. We're going to send you a whole bunch of really short little emails. Some of them are going to send you to a download where you can download something for free for your website, some tools you might use, whatever else, a few videos and bits and pieces. But it is linear. It is A to Z. A nested trigger system gives it dimension and depth. And we've got that system working now. That's a working system we've got within our email marketing software suite. And it is actually really extensive and amazing, because it gives you a truer understanding, or a 3-dimensional understanding of how your clients are engaging with your content. Now, I always thought of it as 3-dimensional. You said, no, it's 2-dimensional, because it's a linear component and then downline components. But then time, because it's a time variable object, that represents the 3rd dimension. So we can then apply an algorithm to that in order to contribute towards our BMI, which is our Belief Media Index, and other types of marketing scores. So we're able to course correct users and provide them with the most relevant experience. So when people come to us and say, how is it that you guys provide such amazing results, right? And I get asked all the time, right? I try and tell them it's not one thing. It's not like I can say, the secret ingredient is an extra pinch of salt, which is what happens.
It's the integration of many tools, ideas, all brought together. Yeah. And it's that integration that really makes it work and explode in its capabilities.
There's so much there, and that's why it's 650 pages, because it does describe all these concepts. And our entire system is super easy to use. It's all one-click system. It's comprehensive. There's a lot there, but you only use what you need.
Yep. Just start with the basics and build up from there.
So if people want to get in touch with us, Domenico,
it's 1300 Belief. And I should know this number, 235-435.
Oh, you just said the wrong number.
Yeah, I just said it, yeah.
I don't know whose number you just gave them. That's 1300 Belief. That's 1300-235-433. 1300-235-433. Just remember 100 Belief and try and forget everything Dom just said. Yeah, I know what it's like.
It's one digit off.
That just goes to show the power of smart numbers, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I remember the smart number there. I didn't remember the digits. I've never had to. Just type it in.
See, that's something, again, this is a small thing, but a big thing.
Oh, it's a great example of it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because a smart number in a digital marketing campaign can increase results. I don't know if it's 2 times or like 2.4 times or something, but it does. At the tail end, when someone's ready to contact you in a marketing funnel, which is the excursion we're going to take you on is part of a marketing funnel, marketing journey. And when someone's ready to contact you, they're more likely to contact you when you have a smart number. That is a number issued through the AMCA, that's the Australian Media Communications Authority, that spells out a word. There are things I don't like. I don't like when people put a 1 before a word. If it was
to make it work, yeah.
Yeah. We have a telco division, a VoIP-based telco division. So we host 1300 numbers, 1800 numbers, virtual mobile numbers, geographic numbers, international numbers. We host all sorts of numbers. We provide really affordable call packs, fully integrated with our platform in amazing ways. There's an entire chapter on the book that demonstrates how and that works. And we do suggest people consider a smart number if they can, and that number should be promoted as the primary point of contact. We have about 50 numbers. Belief Media has about 50 inbound telephone numbers. We know exactly where our calls are coming from. Exactly. We can tell you what campaign, even if it's a letterbox drop. Not that we do letterbox drops. If it comes off a billboard that we might have on the M5 motorway in Sydney, which we don't have at the moment. But if we had a billboard there, we had a particular number, and it was 1300, let's say 1300 Belief, we know exactly where that's coming from on the basis of that number.
Yeah, which goes back to allowing us to measure the success of a campaign.
Who was it? What's the guy's name? It's in the book. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. It's not necessarily true.
Noble? No, I can't remember who it was.
No, and then there are those other boneheads that said, and there are still people today that still say, half of my marketing works. Problem is I don't know which half, and it's just such a silly thing to say in this day and age, and that's why I made sure we put that chapter in the beginning called Data-Driven Behavioural Insights, because it is imperative we have data, because unless you know exactly how your marketing efforts are performing, you're unable to assign a cost, and you're unable to build predictable KPIs. So it's all really, it's all amazing stuff, guys. If you do want to learn more, 1300 Belief, the software we've got, if used correctly. We can't guarantee results, obviously, to anybody under any conditions in any way. All we can say is if used correctly, it is the most powerful marketing system ever made available to Australian mortgage brokers. Just hands down And we've been dealing with mortgage brokers exclusively for 6 years. And I'd say 90% of them have at least multiplied their business by 5 to 10 times, at least. There are some that have gone backwards. There's probably 2 or 3 that have gone backwards. Remember that guy that called me yesterday? He's gone backwards.
What happened there? Just didn't engage in anything he was meant to do? Or?
I don't know. I think he's hit retirement or something. I don't know. Some people can't be helped in the way that others can be helped, but everyone has the capacity. Everybody has the potential to have a $1 billion company. You know, I'd love to take on an aggregator at the moment. If we took on an aggregator, by the way, and this is important to know, if we took on an aggregator, we would stop the consumer-facing component of our business, I think, and just work exclusively with an aggregator, simply because of the support needs that might be imposed upon the business. So get in early, because there are some talks going ahead. If and when that happens, it might be more difficult to utilise our systems in the future. But I'd like to take an aggregator and turn them from, just multiply the volume of that aggregator by 5 times. That would just be the bee's knees, wouldn't it? That'd be great.
Yeah, and with the tools we have, that'd be...
You could do it in a month.
Easily, yeah. Just some regular Zoom sessions or video sessions.
We do have regular webinars anyhow, guys. We do that through Vimeo and sometimes YouTube and Microsoft Teams. So they're the 3 platforms we use. We're probably going to move towards Vimeo in the future. In fact, we might even move towards our self-hosted solution. We have the capacity here in our studio to live stream, multi-camera and into our own system directly. But I'm just not sure how many simultaneous users we can maintain before the system will just crash.
I get back to our internet connection more than anything else at the moment.
That's right. All right, guys. It's look. We didn't mean to talk for this long. We really didn't. But I'm glad we did, and I hope you've listened this far. Please read the book. And like I said, whether or not you're interested in working with us, if you have any concerns about your digital assets, the way in which your digital business is performing, just give us a call. We are happy to give people advice at any time for any reason. We don't want people making bad decisions. So if you need help, just give us a call, and we'll absolutely more than happy to have a chat and give you some directions. If it's free tools that you're after, if you're not in a position to pay for digital representation right now, we can steer you towards some really good tools that we provide or others provide and are compliant. Most importantly, are compliant. And hopefully, a couple of years into the future, when your business matures a little, or you're looking to build or get results or triple
Expand,
or quadruple
yeah.
or expand or do whatever that you want to do, maybe at that point you can give us a call. But we are happy, absolutely more than happy, to talk to anybody for any reason. 1300-BELIEF is our telephone number, 1300 235 433, and our website, www.beliefmedia.com.au. Thank you, guys.
Never going to hear the end of that one.
No.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.